Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome back to another Hookster Talks. Yes, with me and Mr. TB the Bear. Let's get TB. Here he is, yes, and he's got his clothes back on because it's getting cold now. It's winter time, so TB can't survive without the winter. No, he's got to have his clothes back on. His Captain Kirk shirt. So there he is, TB. Fantastic. Oops, the chair's just collapsed. Anyway, hello everyone. I hope you're all doing okay during these very troubling times right now. So yes, we are back. There's no one in the chat at the moment, so I'm just going to sort of basically talk to myself for a bit and see what happens. See if anyone actually turns up, because if they don't, it may be a very short stream indeed. Yes. Wait, what's F1 starting soon? Hello, Mr. Will F1. Oh my goodness, you've just saved the stream. You've just saved the stream. I was just about to cut off there and say, that's it, I'm going, I'm out of here. You want a lot, but you've just come in and you've saved the stream. Yes, you have. So welcome along to the show. Hookster is bound to announce his retirement in 2025. Well, you could be right there. Hookster, yeah, whatever. I'm not that old. Me and Jason Statham, we're exactly the same age, don't you know? Yes, you don't ask Jason Statham if he's going to retire, do you? No. I've liked playing the F1 Manager a lot. Yeah, excuse me. I've got the first one, and I did enjoy it. It had some problems, admittedly. One of them being that I thought it was very, very easy, depending on which team you actually went into. I went into one of the top teams, I think it was McLaren or whatever, and it was just so easy, it was ridiculous. But, you know, if you went into a bottom team like a Sauber back then in 22, went into a Sauber, it was quite enjoyable. It did have its problems. I've been looking around the internet the last couple of days about this announcement. It's not really an announcement from Frontier Games, it's just really an announcement by someone else about how they've been doing in terms of money in the F1 game series, and they've basically lost about 116 million pounds has been lost over the 3 games that they've produced so far. So unfortunately, with that kind of a loss, it's very unlikely that they will carry on, because don't forget, of course, the F1 license doesn't come cheap to start with, so to actually have that kind of a loss and to still be making them is probably not viable. They were only due to make 4 games anyway. That was how long the contract was, how long they bought the contract for, which was 4 games. So it's only going to be 1 more anyway, but it looks like they may have bowed out before the last game in 2025, which I think is going to be a shame on a lot of levels. Personally, EA must be like, must be absolutely over the moon at the news. Absolutely over the moon, because next year F1 25 will have the exclusive license for the F1 game series. And I'm sure, I can't say for sure because I'm on YouTube and I might get done by the lawyers, but I'm pretty sure EA may have had a slight hand in this. In regards to moaning about their losing sales due to another competitor in the F1 field. You know, it wouldn't be too much of a moan, but just enough. And so now, next year, F1 25 will be the exclusive F1 license, at least on consoles anyway. We never know about PCs because lots of other companies can come along, but on consoles it will be the exclusive license. And unfortunately, at least for this year, it's the second best F1 game that was launched this year. In most people's opinions, I haven't played F1 24, so I've only got the first one. But most people's opinions is that it was far better. The F1 Manager game was far better than this year's F1 24, which I can go along with because, as I've said in my previous video the other day, I am really really struggling now with F124. I'm just trying to get any kind of performance or level of ability that I could use into the game. It's just not happening for me, so I'm really struggling at the moment with 24, but it's okay because I'm going to carry on with 23 on the all season, so it's not going to be a problem. But I'm just going to see if I can finally work out all the problems with the game, and there's a huge amount of problems on the game, and just get it into a playable state that, you know, I can make videos on it. But at the moment it's on the back burner, and there is a possibility, I'm not saying for definite, but there's a possibility that I may not even be able to do the all seasons on F124, because if it's just not good enough, I can't make videos about it. But anyway, hopefully I'll get it into some kind of state that I will be able to make videos on it. Take TB's clothes off. No. TB has now got his clothes back on. It's winter time. It's 0 degrees. It's chuffing freezing in the UK right now. But bizarrely, on Saturday and Sunday, we're getting the aftermath of a storm. I think it's called Storm Bert or whatever, which means we're going to have lots of rain, lots of wind. But the offshoot of that is that the temperatures are going to rise rapidly by at least 10 to 11 degrees. Yes, which is absolutely incredible. Yes, Saturday's temperatures and Sunday's temperatures for this weekend are off the scale, at least for November anyway. But it's going to be raining, it's going to be very, very windy. But the temperature is going to rise rapidly, which is good news, because me and TB, we don't like the cold weather, do we, TB? No, he doesn't like the cold. Even though he's got a lot of fur on him, he doesn't like the cold. No, so we prefer it a little bit warmer. But yeah, so that's the weather forecast. I've actually been looking at it the last couple of days, and I'm like, how the hell can it go from it's going to be -2 tonight and -2 tomorrow at night, and then Saturday it's going to be 11 at night and like 16, 17 during the daytime. And I'm like, what? How on earth did it? But it's all because of this Storm Bert that's coming over to see us. It's coming over to pay us a visit and say, hi everyone, hi, I'm Storm Bert. They just can't think of original names for storms anymore, can they? Storm Bert. I mean, come on. Unbelievable scenes. F1 manager games have been better than the EA F1 games, to be honest. Yeah, they have. As I say, I haven't played the latest one, but yeah. Anyway, I was looking around the internet to see what this is all about. It's only a rumour. They may even make an F1 manager game next year. I don't know, but at the moment, it looks dicey that that's going to happen. Now, I was looking at people's comments underneath a lot of the sort of videos and statements about what is going on at Frontier, and a lot of them sort of came to the same opinion, and that is that the F1 manager games are good, but they have certain deficiencies. One of those, apparently, that everyone doesn't like is the graphics. The graphics quality, they say, is very, very low rent. Very, very low in graphics quality. They say the drivers don't look anything like their likenesses, and you know, stuff like that. And what a lot of people moan about, and it's actually something that I said about on a stream, I think, ages ago, which was one thing that I was disappointed about the F1, is that you can't take control of the car. It would be brilliant if you could take control of that car, but obviously, you know, it is a management game, so there's a lot of things going on, so it would be very difficult to actually then include the physics in the game for you to actually take control of the car. That would be a monumental task. So I can see why you can't, but saying that, I think that if you could take control of the car, it would have been a top tier F1 game, and everyone would have loved it, because, you know, at any point during the race, because you can fast forward through the race, can't you? But then you could slow it down, then you could say, oh, I think I'm going to go on track now and do like 10 laps of this 70 lap race or whatever. You know, you just want to go in there and do 10 laps of it yourself. That would have been, I think, a great addition. And a lot of other people said that it was too technical. Now, I've got to see if I can get the wording right, because I'm trying to remember it from memory. They said it was too technical for the casual fan, but not technical enough for the real nerd head, if that makes any sense. It does. It makes sense to me, yeah. So, yeah, it was too technical for the casual player who just wanted to get in and, you know, it was Very, very difficult to get into. And I agree with that. Once you start, there's a lot of things to do just to get started, basically. But they also said that it wasn't technical. I'm not so sure about that. There was lots of stuff to do, but they're saying that it wasn't technical enough for real nerd heads. So that was basically the problems that people have said about the series. So I think, it would be a great shame if there isn't one next year, because it is a little bit of competition for the official F1 game. I'll say otherwise, EA next year, if that's the case, they're just not going to bother at all, because there'll be no competitions. They'll just copy and paste F1 24 and be done with it. That's all they'll do, because why would they need to bother? There's no competition. And I think it's a shame. Real shame. Hookster to host a press conference announcing his retirement in Abu Dhabi. No. Hello, Mr. Plano Plessy. Welcome to the stream. He says, I don't know what is going on anymore, Dave. I'm generally losing the will to live for reasons I can't say, but I guess you'll know what I mean. Yes, I do know exactly what you mean. And as you've mentioned it, I will mention it again in a few minutes as soon as I've read the rest of the chat, otherwise I'll get too far behind. Will says, even Arava has said F1 Manager 24 is far better than F1 24. Well, there you go. There you go. Now, as you know, I always like to take the mickey out of Arava, but one thing I wouldn't ever take the mickey out is his dedication to the cause, and he plays these games even more than I do. I mean, I'm pretty dedicated, but he is supremely dedicated. So if he comes out and says that F1 Manager is better than 24, then I agree with him. Hello, Mr. Man whose name I can't pronounce. Greetings, whoever is there. Yes. There we go. No F1 24. Hookster to retire. Listen, I haven't said for definite yet. Definite. For definite. And if it does all go pear-shaped, I have a Joker card that I'm going to play. If it all goes pear-shaped. Now, if you are very, very, very observant, you will work it out. But I'm not going to tell you. But if you're very observant, you will work it out. But you have to be an all-seasons veteran to basically work out what that Joker card is. But that Joker card can only be played once. And that will only be played under completely desperate circumstances, meaning that I can't play anything else. But it's there. It's always been there. It's always been... I'm not going to say anymore because I'm giving it away. It's always been there. But, if all else fails, I will play the Joker card. Right. Hello, Mr. Champ92. Welcome to the stream. Says, hello, Dave, and hello, race fans. Keep racing for life. Yes, indeed. Plump says, also, congratulations to Max Verstappen on winning the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Yes, keep TB in his clothes. Absolutely. Absolutely. And congratulations on Max Verstappen on winning his 4th world title. Will F1, unless if Hookster is taking a sabbatical. In Switzerland, I freeze my balls off too, Dave. Yes, I imagine you do in Switzerland. It's cold enough here in England, but it must be very cold out there. Bloody hell. Bloody hell. When we say cold, you see, as English people, we are a little bit soft. Yes, because I understand in America it gets down to like -15s and -20s and -25s. Okay, that's what I understand. So when I say cold, it's zero. It's going to be -2 tonight. Okay, -2. It probably is about that right now because we're almost 10 o'clock. About -2 it's going to be. So it's not. But what I also say is you have to remember about different circumstances and different places where you live, because like in America, they've got air conditioning. I think every house in America's got air conditioning. So during the summer, they've got the aircon on to keep them cool. In the UK, we practically do not have air conditioning whatsoever. It is not common at all to have air conditioning in anybody's house in the UK. We have air conditioning in like shops, supermarkets, places like that, big places where lots of people are. They are air conditioned. But a normal person's house in the UK does not have any air conditioning at all. So in the summer, we absolutely just roast. We just roast, yes. Now, the house I live in is even worse because it's a solid brick house. So that means there's no... Most houses built now have got cavity walls, which means it's 2 layers. So the outer layer, what that does during the summer is it stops a lot of the heat coming into the house. But my house is solid brick. So in the summer, as soon as the sun hits that solid brick on the outside wall, that then generates heat inside, and I'm sweating. Yes, I'm sweating. So there's the sort of differences. And also, as I've said to the Americans on lots of occasions, because I have been to America once back in 1994, and when I did go, I noticed that because it was in April, but they were having a sort of mini heat wave, and I noticed that the heat in America is a completely different heat to what we get in the UK, completely different. So I would also imagine on the flip side of that, the cold in the UK is probably completely different to the cold, in America or other places around the world. So it's all relative. So when we say, it's cold at 02, that could be equivalent to like the Americans -10. We don't know. We'll never know that. But anyway, that's my bullshit out of the way. Let's continue. Harry Eid has been Jean-Pierre Jaboulier. Okay. Hello, Mr. DJM99. Welcome to the stream. Hello, lol. Crazy to think Spain blew up as a sports country with Nadal winning his first slam and Alonso winning his first championship the same year. Happy retirement to Nadal, obviously. Yes, indeed. Not interested in football, lol, says Will. Take TB's... No, it's too cold, Will. He might get bearmonia. Yes, bearmonia. He might get bearmonia, and we don't want that. I don't want him coughing all over the place for the next 3 weeks, thank you. He's the tennis player. Yeah, I have actually heard of him myself. Even I did actually follow tennis back in the day. Yes, I used to love a bit of tennis. Absolutely. I used to watch all the Grand Slams. Only the female ones, though, because male tennis is a bit boring, isn't it, really? I like the females, I like the grunts, the... Ooh! Woof! Woof! Oh shit, my chair's just gone again. Who used to do that grunt? Was it Martina Hingis? I don't know. But yeah, I always used to watch the women's tennis because I just love the grunts. Yes. But men's tennis is boring, basically. In my opinion, it's boring. It's the one that can return it as fast as possible and get the point in. That's all it is. But with women's tennis, it always seems to go on. I mean, they do less sets as well. But even though they do less sets, only 3 sets, it seems to just go on forever. And some of those rallies and exchanges just last for, seems like weeks. It really does. So yeah, I prefer the women's tennis. He's a tennis player. There's loads of great footballers from there that I won't be mentioning now because the list is too damn long. F1 2015 says... No, I can confirm 100% it won't be F1 2015 because basically there's no career mode. So that would be impossible unless I did what I did one year and actually made up the career mode, but I don't think I'll be doing that this year. No, but there is another Joker card. But you have to be very knowledgeable to work out what it is. TB naked. Hashtag yes. DJM99 says F1 Manual just wasn't fun. It was a chore. Yes, as I say, looking around the internet last few days, a lot of people have said that as well, that it was, a bit long-winded and a bit not really fun. Now the problem with that is F1 Manager games purely are supposed to be like that. They're supposed to be very in-depth. They're supposed to be very long-winded. But then again, it goes back to what I said earlier about it wasn't suited for the casual player, and it isn't. So it was a very niche game within a very niche format, which is Formula One, which is tiny little speck in the scheme of things. I mean, let's just compare. What should we say? What's something? I don't know. I don't play popular games. What's something really popular out there? I don't know. Call of Duty, is that still popular? I'll just use that as a reference. Call of Duty. If you compare Call of Duty to Formula One, yeah, I expect the ratio of popularity between the two is probably 85% Call of Duty and 15% Formula One. It's gonna be. So within that 15% of that, you've then got the F1 Manager game, which is its own niche in itself, which only a tiny proportion of that are going to enjoy. So we've got to half that again. So literally 7% of 15% would have enjoyed the F1 Manager games. So you can see how, with that tiny amount, and how much Frontier, who made the game, lost £116 million allegedly over the last 3 games they've lost in revenue. You can see why the writing was on the wall that it wasn't going to continue. Will says, I enjoyed the F1 Manager games, probably more things to do in those games. True. I'm still wearing shorts in this weather, says Will. Will, you're crazy. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Let me tell you right now, I've got the heating on. I've got this over, whatever it's called. It's a woolly over jumper. I've also got a jumper on underneath this, and I've got a t-shirt on as well. And I'm still cold. I'm still cold. In the UK, it's just as bad now. I can take a wild guess. Yes. TB naked. Hashtag. Yes, let's get that trending on Twitter. We need some kind of fun, don't we, to get trending? Jesus. No air conditioning in the UK households. Dude, I never knew. Now I know. Holy crap. Yes, that is a fact. And I think anyone who's from the UK in this chat can confirm what I say there, and that is that pretty much no one, apart from the very rich people and places like that, have got air conditioning in their houses. The ordinary person on the street does not have air conditioning in their houses in the UK. It's not a thing. It's not a thing at all. It really isn't. As I say, supermarkets, big places, they've got air conditioning, but average house hasn't got it. And I'm pretty sure the English people in the chat will agree with me there on that point. And I'm not just waffling a load of old waffle. That is the truth. Yes, in the UK, we basically haven't got air conditioning at all. It's never been a thing. Never been a thing. I mean, I'm absolutely ancient according to everybody in this chat. 120 years old according to some people. But even back in the 60s, the 70s, when I was growing up, there was it wasn't something that's come along and then faded out. We've never had air conditioning in the UK to a great extent. Now, whether that changes in the future, I don't know. It may do. As as apparently the planet's warming up. That makes me laugh. Apparently, as I sit here now in -2 degrees with my overjumper, my underjumper, my t-shirt on, and the central heating on, apparently as the planet warms up, we may need air conditioning in the future. Yes. Unbelievable. TB naked again. You're here, my friend. Roast of Dave Hookster. Yes. Shorts in winter, tracksuits in summer. Lol, what do I do? What are we doing? In the US now in Vegas, they say they are freezing as well. It's cold. Yes, I imagine it is in Vegas right now. No TB naked. No. Imagine if that started trending on Twitter. Oh my God. TB naked. that moan on the court. Yes, I used to love a bit of moan on the court. I used to watch tennis, but I'd much rather forcing myself into that. Will F1 says, anyway, next question. Bring back Nicole. Yes, bring back Nicole. Oh, yes, I love Nicole. Yes. If anyone didn't know, that was during the 2010 all seasons, I do believe. And that series just went off the rails. I don't know. I just started putting more and more comedy in the end. I think I murdered Nicole, and then she came back as a zombie or something. I can't remember, but it's something like that happened anyway. TB F1 career mode. Let's chuck him in the house to compete against Ollie Behrman. Yes, absolutely. Well, no difference between Ayrton Senna and David Beckham. David Beckham could take a corner. Whoa, 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 coaches. Whoa, 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 whoa. We are talking about Mr. Senna here. One of my... I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But don't forget, Mr. Senna was my god. Yes, I did love Ayrton Senna, I must admit. But I'll give you that. It was funny. Oh, yeah. TB career mode. Oh, could you imagine the TB career mode? Jesus. Private Place says Call of Duty is rubbish, has been for a number of years. I did play one that they gave away free on the PSN a few years ago. It was okay. I think it was World War II or something. It was set in World War II anyway. I think that was the last one I've played. It was all right, but I could see the danger signs were there of, constantly repeating themselves from ones that I'd played years ago. I mean, for me, Call of Duty is the first Modern Warfare. For me, that's just unbeatable. I mean, someone actually gave me that game when I first got my PS3 because I didn't have enough money to buy any games for it. So they lent that to me, and that was it. Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Oh my God, I was in heaven, and I thought that game was brilliant. And I've always thought that, like, the scripting, the story, and everything was just on point. It really was. And then, of course, the follow-up was even better. Those two games, Modern Warfare and the follow-up, was it Modern Warfare 2? I don't know. But those two games, I think, were the pinnacle Call of Duties. They really were. And I loved them. And the thing I loved about them most was you could go online, and there was that game mode. I can't remember what it's called. But you could hide as an object of the scenery, if you know what I'm on about. You could hide as like a washing machine or whatever, and then online your other players had to find you and then kill you. It was just the funniest shit. Online anyway, it was the funniest shit ever. It really was. The amount of times, I was like searching these rooms, and suddenly I'd see this washing machine running for the door. Like, what the fuck? It was really funny, and that was for me was the pinnacle Call of Duty. Can't get any better than that. I have ideas. It's insane. Is TB named after Thierry Boutsen? No, TB is named after the man himself, James Tiberius Kirk. Yes, Captain Kirk. His middle name was Tiberius. Of course, I know that, being a complete Star Trek nerd, and that's what he's named for. Yes, Tiberius Kirk. So that's TB Bear. Tiberius Bear. That is his official name, Tiberius Bear. There you go. Because he's got the Star Trek captain's uniform on. Yes. And he's got his trousers on as well. And curiously, the trousers got a big hole in the back so he can stick his booty through. Look, his booty comes out through the hole in his trousers. Yes. Look at that. Oh my God. It looks like a hemorrhoid. Hang on, let's see if we can stick it back in. Let's see if we can stick it back up there. Get back in there, bloody hemorrhoids. Get in there. And there's TV. Will says, Yorkshiremen like myself are made of steel and we're tough. Yes, we're tough. We're from Yorkshire. Question. Why do you need your own tea? Why do you need your own tea? I was watching Josh's video the other day about his smash pipe cleaning, or I don't know, I lost the plot. But I noticed while he was in the kitchen, in the background, when when his mum said, we'll make a cup of tea, I noticed that on the shelf there was a packet of Yorkshire tea. And my first thought was, well, fucking sure it's going to be a packet of Yorkshire tea, isn't it? There ain't going to be nothing else. There wouldn't have been a packet of Tetley sitting there, would there? Or a packet of PG. No. It's got to be Yorkshire tea. But my question remains, why do you have to have your own tea? Yes. I haven't got any Chatham tea, you know. No, we don't have Chatham tea round here. No. So why Yorkshire tea? Anyway, let's continue. Cherry Bootsam. Oh, here he goes. We even have our own Yorkshire tea. There you go. 120-year-old. Honestly, that's what some of them think sometimes. Yeah. You should see the amount of times I get messages saying, Hookster to retire, Hookster to retire, Hookster to retire. I'll bloody retire when I'm good and ready. I will retire when I'm so old and senile, I have to put the F1 games on zero AI. Zero AI, yeah? And I shall be about, 85 years old in the old folks' home, surrounded by all those old biddies with their vaginas round their ankles, smelling slightly of pee. Oh, God. That's a scary thought. And I will still be sitting there playing F1 2040. I can't do maths. F1 2042. Going, ooh, wowzers me trousers. Wowzers me trousers. Look at that. So shut up. Otherwise I will inflict that on you. And you'll all be in the comments going, oh, this is just so embarrassing now. I'm like a rabbit caught in the headlights. I want to look away, but I just can't. And that's what's going to happen. So don't keep moaning about me retiring, because otherwise I will stay here till I'm 85. Yes. Only the block key will save you. Dave was born in 19... The oldest bloke on planet Earth will be Dave Hookster then. Yes, that's me. He saw Karak and Nuvarali. Lol. Yes. Get TB on this all seasons rubbish. TB naked. Brilliant. No. Stop hashtagging it. It might become a thing. Dave needs to do an F1 98 all seasons career mode. Jesus. I tried to do an F1 98 career mode. In fact, I got 4 episodes recorded on my PC from years ago, but unfortunately I had to abandon it because I changed all the names. I think for the 2018 season, the real life 2018 season, I put all the names in. I think it was anyway. Might have been 2019 season. One of those anyway. I put all the names in, did the first race, saved the game, came back and like a few days later and did another one, and all the names had disappeared. Yes, they'd all reverted back to their original names, and I thought, oh, well, that's that then. That's the end of the series, because there's no way I was going to sit there and every single round and type in 22 drivers' names again. The only name that was still there was my original name that I used. I can't remember who I was. I was someone anyway from the 2018 season, but that was the only name that remained. But all the others disappeared through saving it. Yeah. So all those other names you put in for the drivers, they don't save once you go past the race. It's just something for the race and then it goes. And I was like, oh, cock. So that was the end of my F1 98 season. There you go. Little story for you there. Take TB's... No! It's too cold, Will. It's too cold. You get bearmonia. You'll get bearmonia. Yeah. Bring back the Carmen Jordan career mode. Oh, God. You know, right now, we could do with a Carmen Jordan career mode. I must admit. I suppose that's what happens when you release the same game every year. I started at Modern Warfare 3. I mainly played it on the Xbox. Yes. Don't give him ideas, Will, otherwise Dave will really do a striptease on that poor thing live in front of his beloved audience. Here, be careful what you wish for. I think I've done one of those already. I did a striptease, I think, a few months ago off TV. That was when Will demanded during the summer that I remove his clothes. Yes. Yes. Which just goes to show you that Will F1 is a very funny fellow. So I took his clothes off live. Yes, I did. Dave needs to do a career mode on F1 career challenge career. Oh, God. Oh, God. Now, another fascinating fact, I started the career mode on that game as well. Yes. And I was playing as Mr. P.S. Luton Rules. But I had to abandon that series for some unknown reason. I can't remember why. Because I did that years ago. Dave needs to do an F1 2001 all seasons rubbish. Dave needs to do an F1 World Grand... Oh, God. Not that game. Please. Please, no. Please, no. 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 Bring back Calm and Jordan career mode with TB in one team. Yes. Yes. They want you to take off TB. I know what they want. But, you know, sometimes, Mr. Man whose name I can't pronounce, sometimes, you can't give them what they want. You know, you have to stand firm and not give them what they want. Captain Kirk, says Champ 92. Yes. Brilliant. I love Medal of Honor and Call of Duty when based on World War II. Yeah, I think they made a mistake when they went. I mean, I enjoyed the Modern Warfare games, as I said earlier, but I do think they made a mistake of leaving World War II. I think they made the best games when they were to do with World War II. Carmen Jordan would murder TB. She probably would. Ah, Tiberius, yes. Bloody brilliant. His booty is visible. Yes, his booty. Hemorrhoids. You can't beat Yorkshire tea, says Will. You can't beat a nice Yorkshire tea. Yes. Yes, this is me taking the piss out of the Yorkshire accent. I'm not very good at it, but yeah. So I'm just going to say, boy gum. Boy gum. Hello there, Farmer Giles. Hello there. Have you been down farm to milk cows? Yes, I've been down farm. Yeah, that's what we do in Yorkshire. Yeah, we all just go down farm and milk cows. That's all we do, yeah. Then we come home for a nice Yorkshire tea. Nice Yorkshire... Is that good? Is that good, Mr. Will F1? Did you like that? Good. Yorkshire tea is a better drink than PG Tips. Is it? Well, I only drink PG Tips, so there you go. Just out of spite one day, I might have to buy a packet of Yorkshire tea. Yes, and I will see whether you're right or not. But I've also heard from another man who's from Yorkshire that apparently your Yorkshire tea isn't even made in Yorkshire anymore. It's made in China. So what the crackle, wackle, wackle, dackle is all that about? How can you persist in having Yorkshire tea and yet it's made in China? Answer me, please, Mr. Will F1. Answer, please, on a postcard. But it's not Yorkshire tea if it's made in China, is it? Zero AI, that's the one. You already play at 5%. Leave it. I do not play at 5%. I've told you many times the AI level on your seasons. It's 82%. 82%. Smelling of pee. Yorkshire tea. Yorkshire tea, the goat of all hot drinks. Tiberius Bear the goat. Zero AI. Shit, I'm old. Yes, there is a zero AI on the current F1 games. Yes, you can turn it down to zero. Yes. It is quite fun. If you want to try this, it is quite fun. Drop it down to zero. Do a 25% race, yeah, and then start 2 laps behind. Start 2 laps behind. It's a lot of fun when you get to the last 5 laps and you've caught up to the field and you're basically at the back and you're just passing cars. Because once you get to the back of the field, passing the cars is very, very easy on 0% AI. Very easy indeed. But you've got to give yourself a 2-lap head start. Now, unfortunately, you can't sit there on the grid for 2 laps. Otherwise, you get that warning coming up on screen saying you're going to get disqualified. So just for the 2 laps, just inch your car forward, until that screen goes away, and just keep doing that. But make sure that the cars go past you twice, and then as soon as they've gone past you for the second time, go for it, and then you'll get a very enjoyable 25% rate on 0% AI. I've done that many times. Very enjoyable. As that a guy would say, it's alright, like, overrated as fuck in my opinion, I mean. Yeah, that's it. That's almost a perfect Yorkshire accent as well. It's alright, like, overrated as fuck in my opinion, I mean. Get Brendan Hartley on the All Seasons Rubbish. Oh, Brendan Hartley. Yes, so gay. So bloody gay. I'd get crucified if I said that now, wouldn't I? I'd get crucified, yes. Tiberius Bear naked. Yes. I remember that F1 challenge career mode. You do, yes. Me too. I had to abandon it. I can't remember why I had to abandon it, but stand firm. No news today. Yes. Show us TB's bits. Teddy Bear Tim is the goat of bears. China? You speak it like Trump. Yes, China. Yes, we're going to China. Oh, dear. Teddy Bear Tim. Yorkshire tea is 100% pure Yorkshire. Really? Really? Well, let's investigate that, shall we? Mr. Will F1. So let's put that on the screen. Get rid of myself. I've asked the question. And that is Yorkshire tea made in China? It says no. This is AI though, so don't trust AI. Okay, this is AI. Don't trust it. It says no. Yorkshire tea is not made in China, but it is blended in Harrogate, Yorkshire, England. Okay. So, Yorkshire tea is grown in more than 20 different places across Africa and India, then imported to Harrogate and blended. So, why is it called Yorkshire tea? That's a good question. Why is it called Yorkshire tea then, if it's made in 20 different places across Africa and India, and all they do is put it together? I mean, that's like a Lego, isn't it? That's like Lego. Yeah. So they send you the set of Lego and all you do is put it together. But you didn't make it. You didn't make the Lego bricks, did you? And all you do is plonk them together into some kind of random order that looks kind of quite like what it looks on the box, but not really. That's exactly what they're doing with Yorkshire tea, isn't it? I mean, Yorkshire tea surely should be made in Yorkshire. It should be made... it shouldn't be made in Africa and India. And then all you do is basically get those flat strips of the tea bag, the things that, the two strips of the tea bag, and they literally just get a bit of tea, bung it in there, smack it together, bit of glue around the outside. There you go, one Yorkshire tea bag. I mean, that is not Yorkshire tea, is it? That is not Yorkshire tea. No, anybody could do that. Jesus. So, why is it called Yorkshire tea if it's made in Africa? Yorkshire tea is grown in more than 20 different places across Africa and India, then imported to Harrogate and blended. So why is it called Yorkshire tea? If you drank one of those 20 teas on its own, it would typically be described in terms of its origin. Assam tea, for example, or Rwandan tea, Kenyan tea, and so on. But blends from multiple origins need to be named more creatively. Take Russian let's not. For example, a famous blend of oolong, kimon, and lapsang souchong, Jesus, which made its way from China to Russia on the 18th century camel caravans. It wasn't very practical or very catchy to call it oolong, kimon, lapsang souchong. I don't know, I think that's very catchy indeed. I might use that in the next All Seasons episode. Yes. I'm going to have a nice cup of oolong, keelong, lapsang, souchong tea. Yes. So instead, it was named after its trade route. In Britain, there's a more familiar example. English breakfast. Please don't tell me it's not made. The English breakfast isn't made in England. This is ridiculous. This is too much for my tiny little brain to bear. I can't stand this. First, Yorkshire tea's not made in Yorkshire, and now the English breakfast is not made in England. What the ecky fomp is going on here? English breakfast tea was a mishmash of the remainders of tea traders' various teas from around the world. They mixed them all together and sold them as a blend, and there was no guarantee of consistency, quality, origin or flavour. But the product still needed a name, so it became the defining example of a blend named after the place it was created and the market it was created for. English breakfast tea caught on, and its composition became a little more standardised and refined. Ultimately, it provided the inspiration for most of the black tea blends Brits drinks today, and the source of its name has passed into tea making tradition too. There you go. That's why it's called Yorkshire tea. Because it comes from its origin. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yorkshire tea. Yorkshire tea. Dear, let's go back to the comments. I bet there's been a... Guan Yu Zhou equals pioneer. Lord Guan. When finishing last becomes a power of positivity. He still sees light at the end of the tunnel. If you do F1 Grand Prix 2000 career mode, then that means you can try to get a super license. No. Go to China. No. I mean, I do love deliveries of Sauber and all, but man, the rest is bye-bye. Really, their performance on track is more than lacklustre. The car is horrid. It certainly is. Audi is not doing themselves any favour with them. I mean, Hinwell has a good, decent wind tunnel and personal staff, but it all doesn't help when the budget is not there. Dave, in the meantime, rants about Yorkshire tea. Yes. Yorkshire tea made in fine china like Chris Brown. Great that I was able to witness that as well. What the fuck? I shit myself now of like his face. How he reads of that article. Yes. Yes indeedy. Mr. McGreedy. There you go. Yorkshire tea. Will's gone now because I've upset him. He's saying about Yorkshire tea. Yorkshire. Oh, he's back. Yorkshire tea. He's back just like crack. Yorkshire tea is a cracking drink. Is it, Will? Is it? But it's not Yorkshire, is it? Mr. McGreedy. Oh, God. What can we say? Mike Crack. Yes. What a name that is. What a name that is. Oh, my God. Mike Crack. Just imagine how much he must have got teased at school. Oh my God. Can you imagine how much he must have got teased? What about when she's reading the names out, you know, when you first walk in? Mike Crack! Present! Oh my God. That would have been unbelievable, wouldn't it? I've laughed so hard I've steamed my glasses up. Right. Dave needs to go to the supermarket tomorrow and buy himself some Yorkshire tea. Yes, Mike Crack the G. Oh dear. Right, okay. Jones, Crack. Now you may have noticed there's someone missing from the stream tonight. That's because he's off on a James Bond assignment, so he won't be here tonight. Just in case you were wondering where he is, I know where he is, but I'm not going to say on stream. Mic crack. Present. Present. Must have been relentless. Must have been relentless. Poor Mike Crack. Poor Mike Crack. Unbelievable. Unbelievable scenes. Anyway, I've gone completely off topic now, haven't I? This weekend, everyone, it's the Las Vegas Grand Prix, Florida. Oh, yes. Thanks for putting that in the chat. I'm sure it'll be well appreciated. Will F1 Gamer needs to get himself a beach towel and head to the beach. He's stressed out like 21 pilots. So good, just so good. Anyway, this weekend it's the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Yes, everyone's so excited. Everyone's so excited. Yes, I hear that Liberty Media, in an attempt to drum up some support, have actually dug up Elvis, and he will be singing live at Caesar's Palace about an hour before the race. He will be introduced by LL Cool J. Yes, just like last year or the year before. You remember that shit show? Yes, and yeah, he will be singing "Love Me Tender" to all the people at Caesar's Palace. Yes, that may not be correct. I may be completely wrong about that, but I can see it working. I can see it working. Anyway, it is the Las Vegas Grand Prix. Hookster to retire. LL Cool J. That was him, wasn't it? That one the other year. I can't remember when it was. Shit show. Hookster needs to retire. DJM99 says, not sure if I can be asked to watch the last 3 races. I'm totally with you. I'm totally with you. Unfortunately, I've got to, otherwise I can't make a video about them on the Monday, which I'm very annoyed about. And yes, of course, if anyone remembers last week's stream, and I made a complete cock-up thinking that it was Las Vegas last weekend, I didn't realise that it was another 3-week gap again. How many gaps are they going to put in these? Leave Hookster alone, he's a young lad. Hookster was born in 1900. But so many 3-week gaps in this. He was a teenager during World War One. Yeah, I remember World War One. You leave it, lad. You leave it. Yes. Anyway. No, Bookster was born in 2024. Yes, I was. I just popped out last week, I did. Popped out, yes. Yes. He's like a Benjamin Button. Yes. Tired of this season, so much bullshit. I am like a Benjamin Button, and it just goes to repeat the old saying, and that is the fact that you spend 9 months in a vagina desperately trying to get out, and you spend the rest of your life desperately trying to get back in. That's the end of my dad joke for tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone. There we go. There we go. Las Vegas Grand Prix cancelled. Going backwards through time. Also, rest in peace to Mini Drivers, Bikers and E-Riders Fun Series to have a look at. Popped out. Yes. Yes. It is. If anyone's never heard that saying before, that's a very old saying from back in the, I don't know, when it was 70s or whatever, but yes, that was the saying, that you spend 9 months in a vagina trying to get out, and you spend the rest of your life desperately trying to get back into a vagina. But there you go. Boom, 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 as Basil Brush used to say back in the day. So yes, it is the Las Vegas Grand Prix. DJ United says, tired of this season, so much bullshit. Now I'm going to confirm this, otherwise someone in the chat will go, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. The 1929 what's it was longer. I am correct. I thought I was, but I'm just checking. So yes, this is almost the end of the longest season in Formula One's history. This is going to be the longest season of Formula One ever since its inception in 1950. 1950. Now, if we go back for a moment to 1950, I seem to remember, I'm not going to look it up because, that's boring, but I seem to remember there was 9 races in 1950. And 2 of those races, I do believe, were non-championship events because they had non-championship and championship events run, as part of the championship, but they weren't included. The non-championship events were not included in your championship points to the World Championship. If that makes any sense, but that's how it worked back then. So there was 9 rounds, but only 7 of those were championship rounds. So from 1950, from the start of Formula One, all the way forwards now to 2024, we now have 24 races. And this has officially been, when it finishes in 3 races' time, the longest F1 season ever. Unbelievable. And next year will be the same. There will be 24 races as well. There was a lot of rumours about them being 25 races next year. They're just basically following the years now, aren't they? Yes. I can't wait for 2032 season, but no, officially now that isn't going to happen. There's not going to be 25 races. There's going to be 24 races once again. Here is the calendar for 2025. It's looking pretty similar, I have to say, to this year's calendar. There's not a lot of changes. Australia starts the season back in its rightful place as round 1 of the season, I do believe. I'm very happy to see Australia back where it belongs. Bahrain has basically stolen its thunder for quite a few years now, but now it's back where it belongs in round 1. I always used to love the first season opener at Australia. I really did. It was just a fun sort of time. Back in the days when I used to watch the practice sessions at 3 o'clock in the morning when it was broadcast live over here in the UK for free, not all on Sky. But yes, I used to watch the practice sessions at I think it's 3 o'clock in the morning, something ridiculous anyway. I used to actually set my alarm clock to wake me up to get up to watch the practice sessions of the first race of the season, because it was just that. The first race of any season is just magical because it's just so much excitement. You don't know what's happening. You're like, whoa! Then by round 2, you're like, oh God, not this shit again. But round 1 was just really exciting. So yeah, I used to set my alarm and wake up and get up to watch the practice sessions. This, of course, was long before we had, proper video recorders and stuff like that. Watch the practice session live because I just had to watch it live. Everything was live for me. Practice, qualifying, the race, it all had to be live. Nowadays, all I watch is the highlights. That's it. Because I haven't got Sky, so I don't get it live, so I just watch the highlights. Yeah, but back then, it was the bee's knees. So we got Australia as round 1. Round 2, we got China. And then we're going to nip over to Japan for round 3. Then Bahrain is slotted into round 4. Then Saudi Arabia at Jeddah is for round 5. Then we're going to go to the USA. I always find it curious why we're going to Miami. And then there's basically they return to the US again right at the end of the season. You would have thought they would have put Miami with all the other American tracks at the end, wouldn't you? But very, very strange. Very, very strange indeed. But anyway, round 6 is at Miami. Then we've got Italy and then Monaco. Now, if you're just looking at this, you can see I don't think the gaps between the races are as long as they have been this season. I can't see mega gaps. I could be wrong, but I can't see mega gaps. So we've got Monaco, and then we've got Spain, Canada, and Austria. This is the summer season of races, of course. So you're going to have 3 in a row there. Then we've got Silverstone is round 12. Then Belgium. And then 27th of July, 1st of August, Hungary. That's going to be the one before the summer break, isn't it? 1st of August, and then 20. Yeah, so Hungary is going to be the summer break, round 14. Round 15 comes back to the Netherlands after the 3-week break. Then we're going to have Italy, which is usually earlier in the calendar, is it not? Or am I mistaken? I may be. But anyway, I thought it was a little bit earlier than that. But anyway, yeah, it is usually Italy. Then we've got Azerbaijan, which also I believe is usually earlier in the calendar. And then we've got Singapore on the 3rd to the 5th of October. And then, which is what we've had this year, which is the American leg of the tour. But it looks like there's only going to be a 2-week gap this time before we go to America to start, because there was a 3-week gap, wasn't there, before it all started again, and there's been another 3-week gap before it's all started again. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen this year, next year, because it's going to be 2 weeks. Then it goes to USA, Mexico City, Brazil, Las Vegas, which is going to have a Saturday race. Is this year's a Saturday race as well? And then Qatar, and then Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is once again going to finish off the calendar for 2025. So you may have noticed there are no new circuits on the calendar for 2025. None at all. Let me get the... See if we can do a side-by-side comparison here. Oh, I've just hit my microphone. Yeah, that isn't quite what I wanted. I wanted the picture of the calendar. Maybe that will do it. Oh, no, that wasn't it either, was it, Wikipedia? Where's the picture of the calendar? There we go. Here we go. Thank you very much. Because what I wanted to do was to reduce that down and then plonk that there. Do a bit of resizing there. There we go. Make that one a little bit bigger. That's it. And where's the other one gone? Oh, there it is there. Right, 2024 calendar. Where's my other one gone? 2025 calendar. Make that one smaller. Make that one smaller. I do apologise. I have to do this all on the fly. All on the fly. 2024 calendar. 2025 calendar. There you go. There you go. You might not be able to see that on screen. It's a bit small. Let me see if I can make it a bit bigger. Da 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 da. No, it doesn't want to be made bigger. That'll do. So, as I said, the differences are round 1 for this year was Bahrain, of course. And now it's Australia. Round 2 was Saudi Arabia. We've now got China. So they have really sort of moved these circuits around for next year. Australia was round 3 for this year. Now it's Japan. Round 4 is now Japan. And that's now Bahrain. So that's been swapped around. Round 5 was China. That's now Saudi Arabia. So that's gone later. Then Miami is round 6. Yeah, they've kept Miami for round 6, exactly the same as this year. Italy is round 7, and now we've got Imola as round 7. Oh, it's the same one. They've just called it the Emilia Romagna. Yeah, sorry, my mistake. So that's still in round 7 as normal. Then we've got Monaco. That's as last year. Canada. No, they've just swapped that around. We've got Spain first for next year, then Canada. Then Austria is round 11, the same as last year. United Kingdom is the same as this year as well. and up to the top round 13. Belgium next year. It was Hungary this year. Then Belgium. So once again, they've just swapped the races around. A little bit bizarre, but okay. Then we got the normal break. Then the Netherlands, which is still the same round as this year. Then, I was wrong. Italy was round 16. I stand corrected. So that's in the same place it was. Azerbaijan. I thought that was earlier. That's in the same place. Singapore is in the same place. USA is in the same place. Mexico, Brazil, Las Vegas, Qatar and Abu Dhabi. So basically, whoever made the calendar up for 2025, he's got as far as the last 8 rounds and gone, I can't be bothered. I just copy paste from last year. I'm done. Look, my dinner's in the microwave. It's getting cold. I can't be bothered. No, just copy paste the last 8 races from the year before. That'll do. And probably when they started the calendar, they went, right, what brilliance can we put in this year's calendar? Well, let's swap that one around with that one, and let's just put that one. Let's just swap those two. That'll do. Yeah, that'll do. Can't be bothered. No, that'll do. Unbelievable, isn't it? Absolutely unbelievable. So there you go. Those are the calendar changes for next year, which are pretty minuscule, you have to say. No new tracks. The only difference is Las Vegas is a Saturday race. I'm presuming that's for some reason. I don't know why, but I'm sure that's on the internet somewhere. Show us the full race replay of the 2023 Las Vegas Grand Prix. No, because you know I'll get banned. It's on YouTube. Yeah, I know it is, but I'll get banned like I did the other week. Let me get back to that dark pothole. 2010 Singapore, I've been back a few times in the last few months. It was by far the longest so far. 1950 when Dave was 50 years old. Leave it now. Shush, man. He's a minus 74 when he popped out just now. All the worries about New Year's Day in 2000 were down to the fact that Hookster turned 100 years old on New Year's Day. Dave, yes, exactly. XXXL calendar. Racing in the Pope's hometown next year, GP of Vatican. Bahrain better than Australia. Interesting. I feel you, Dave. Back in the day, I could never miss anything. Now it's like, oh well, yeah, okay, another race. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel now. I also only watch highlights nowadays. It's enough. You don't miss so much on many occasions, to be honest. This is true. And in the UK, we get the Silverstone race. We do get that live, and it's on our free TV, which is what I've got. So, but I watch the Silverstone race now, and literally 10 minutes on, I'm going, I don't know if I can get to the end of this. And 9 times out of 10 now, I just watch the highlights instead because I can't be bothered. I'm like, Jesus, did I actually used to sit here for an hour and a half watching a race? I'm like, nah. What's more shocking is the lack of real knowledge in that nowadays society, or whatever called fan base, I understand it if you're new, but many are there for years, even them who work in F1, yeah. No new circuits, but hey, 3 USA races by 2030. I would not be surprised if they had a 4th one. Let's go to New York City. Yes, Central Park. Well, this old man needs his bed. Good night, all. Thanks, Dave. It's been a hoot. Thank you, Mr. DJ99. Yes, get bedtime, mate. Bedtime. It's past my bedtime as well, but there you go. I'll stay up a little bit longer because I'm a rebel. I'm a rebel without a cause. Yes. Logistics, that's a nightmare. Fan for the driver's terrible. Yes. So anyway, that's the calendar for next year. Not a lot of change. Apart from there's a race on Saturday in Las Vegas. Let's get rid of all this lot. Make myself big. So yes, Las Vegas is back. And there's a very slim chance that Lando Norris could win the championship. But it's such a slim chance, it's not even there, to be honest. Not even there. Such a slim chance. But it's there. But we all know that Max is going to win it. I'm hoping he wins it actually this weekend at Las Vegas. So then we can, just get on, because I have very little interest in races that aren't championship races. I'll still watch them, but my interest level will be very, very low. So I'm hoping he wins it in Las Vegas so we can just, get this season out of the way. Because as I say, longest F1 season ever on record. And it's just, oh God, it just seems to have been going on forever now. It really does. And it's not what I'm happy with. I still think there should be some limit to the amount of races. I think 17 to 19 races in a season is plenty, absolutely plenty. It doesn't need to be any more than that. It really doesn't. If you look at the calendar, it looks like that's what they're doing. They're doing a 17 race championship, and then they're finishing it off with a Liberty Media revival tour, or whatever you want to call it. Because those last 5 or 6 rounds, it's just publicity for Liberty Media, because they're all in the United States, or nearly all, but they're all around that area, aren't they? Mexico, they're all in the same sort of geosynchronous orbit, as they call it. So it's just a big advert for Liberty Media. So they're basically doing like a 18 round championship, and then those last ones tacked on the end are just basically for promotional purposes. That's all it is. But it's too much. It's too many. 24 races is just too many. 17 to 19 was the magic number in Formula One. It really was. That was just enough. You could usually end up with one race every single fortnight, going from March until about October. That's when the season used to finish. Now it's going to be 6th of December, and it's getting later and later and later. I think the last time it was really late was the COVID year, which I think was the 12th of December in the last race, but that was understandable because it didn't start until 6 months into the championship, and they managed to cram in 17 races in about 5 months, so that was doing pretty well. But I think it was 12th of December, and I think that was the latest the season's ever finished. But there hasn't been any of that this year, and yet still, I think it's the 5th of December, isn't it? Or that's the last race. And it started in March. That's a very, very long Formula One season, and everyone's just getting a little bit jaded now with the amount of races and what have you. But anyway, Maxi Boy will hopefully win it, and then we'll be able to have a nice long break during the winter before we come back rejuvenated again for the 2025 season. Now, unfortunately, there won't be many changes to the cars. They'll all be the same because the regulations aren't changing. But I'm hoping with the loss of Adrian Newey at Red Bull, that the Red Bull is not going to be super competitive. It's still going to be up there, but I would love it to be fighting properly with the Ferraris, with the Mercedes cars as well, and we could have like a 6 or 7 car or driver battle for the championship for next year. I'd love that to happen. That would be really great for Formula One as a whole if that happened. It would go back to the sort of days of 1997 when you had exactly that. You had at least 6 different drivers going for the championship. And so I'd like to see that for 2025, because in 2026 there's some massive regulation changes coming into force, which is going to affect the cars massively in terms of speed. The engineers have now reported back that the 5 second a lap deficit that they were reporting the cars were going to have, they've managed to get that down now to 2 seconds. So it's going to be a 2 second a lap deficit, which is a lot better. Not obviously, as they develop these cars for 2026 even more, that deficit will drop to, until eventually they'll end up pretty much about the same speed and whatever as they are now. But you have to admit, a 5 second deficit was a hell of a lot, and you probably would have noticed that on screen. So they've just come back and said, no, we've already managed to get it down to 2 seconds. I think they're in like simulators and wind tunnels or what have you, because they haven't actually built the car for 2026 yet, obviously. But they've managed to work that out, which is good. 1997 was just Michael Schumacher and Villeneuve fighting for the championship. Yes, but you had a lot of other drivers there who were getting good places in the points, because of course you had both the new Benetton boys, of course, were in there for 1997, didn't you? John Alesi, and of course you had Gerhard Berger was in there as well. And I know a Lacey ran out of fuel in Australia. We know that. But apart from that, they were doing quite well. You had, and of course, you had Michael Schumacher, and who was his teammate in '97? Was it Irv the Swerve? Was it Irv the Swerve? Eddie Irvine? I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. You had those two in there as well. Then you had Villeneuve, and can't really take a lot away from Heinz-Harald Frentzen. He did quite a good job in 1997 as well. So they all had potential, not to win the championship, they all had potential to be up there fighting. That was more of what I was trying to say. They were up there more fighting with each other. Whereas the situation you've had this year was basically at the start of the year, Maxi Boy was just walking away with it and there was no competition. Of course, that's changed now. There is competition. But, hello. My Viagra timer's going off. Hang on. Is it time to take me Viagra? Right, sorry about that. You might be thinking of 1999 where any of the 5 drivers could have won it and certain things happened or not happening. Get Eddie Irvine on the all. It might have been 99 actually. I remember, yeah, because Schumacher broke his leg, didn't he? And then he had to not be in the championship. And then Irv the Swerve was very close to winning the championship, but unfortunately didn't get it in the end. But yeah, 99 was a good year as well. Another year of McLaren dominance after 98. But you know what I mean. There was a lot of drivers around 97, 98, 99 that were doing good results and getting higher finishing orders. Whereas this year it's been max domination at the start of the year anyway. I say it was so dominated. I was by round 4. I was going, oh god, I think I'm just going to give up. I was just going to stop watching it. I even said to someone, I said, I think I'm going to stop in a few races. And just thankfully it turned itself around, and so I'm very happy to see that. Very happy to see that indeed. So there you go. I think we're almost done. In fact, yes, I think we are. There is just one thing to finish on, and unfortunately I've got to finish on a sad note, unfortunately, but this is the way things are going in 2024. But obviously it hasn't missed my attention of what is actually happening in the world right now. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are very anxious right now. I've mentioned this several times before in streams and what have you, and I do suffer from acute anxiety. So what's happening in the world right now obviously is affecting me as well as it's affecting everybody else, and I can't really ignore what is going on around the world, because at the moment things are just, they're not looking good at all. I have to admit, they're just not looking good at all. I'm absolutely appalled at the I'm going to call them gutter press right now. The gutter press, and lots of them are on YouTube as well. I spent about an hour this morning telling YouTube not to keep recommending me these channels, because they're just absolute gutter reporting. It really is. It's just ridiculous. And the way these channels are reporting is that tomorrow there could be a nuclear war on Friday, and then Saturday we will just all be returning to our lives. That is just absolutely ridiculous. That anybody would even suggest something as casually as a nuclear war would be something that happens and then we just get back to normality. That is not going to happen. there is no such thing as a nuclear war. Within 22 minutes of anyone launching any nuclear missiles, that is the end of mankind. So for any gutter press to even use this to get views, clicks or whatever, it's just unbelievable to me. Absolutely unbelievable. And even the thought of mentioning nuclear war as like a soundbite is just incredible. Just absolutely incredible. As I say, if a nuclear war happened, we would not all be getting back to our lives the next day, the next week, the next year, the next century. 12 years after a nuclear war, there will be 12 million people left on the planet Earth. Those 12 million people will be in the depths of despair. Most of them in a terrible condition, physically, health-wise, living in the remains of what is left of our planet, what is left of the ground that's been decimated by nuclear weapons. So how people can just use this casually is just unbelievable. And I would suggest anyone out there to basically, if you see this in the news, to just block these channels completely. Because far from helping the situation, all they are doing is causing more and more anxiety to the people that are out there. And it's not helping anyone whatsoever, especially, if you're watching the news and you're fearing about what's going to happen in the future. Now, I can't say what's going to happen in the future. I would say, I think, I'm hoping that somewhere down the line, people in authority, I can't say too much else because I'm on YouTube, people in authority will come to their senses and think, what the hell are we doing? Because ever since, I don't know, COVID came along, 2020, although it's been brewing before that, but 2020, the whole world has just become a very angry, embittered place. And it's just not the world that I remember from just going back to 2019, to be honest. It's just completely changed. Mankind just seems to be hell-bent on destruction. And killing people now is as normal as eating your cornflakes in the morning. That's how society has now become. Killing people is just as normal as eating your cornflakes in the morning. And that's just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. So I would just say to anybody out there, and I expect there's quite a few people who are anxious right now, and I'm one of them. The problem is, whatever happens, there's nothing we can do about it. Absolutely nothing. It's out of our control. This is all controlled by the high-ups in governments and stuff like that. There's nothing we as an ordinary person can do about it. So if the worst happens, the worst happens, and that's it. But I would just say to anybody out there who is anxious, please try to stay off the news. That's the one thing I would say. Try and just stay. And YouTube seems to be especially bad right now. And just take each day as it comes. Please just don't worry about what's happening in the wider world. Keep an eye on it, obviously, but don't have it in the forefront of your mind, constantly thinking about it. Because if that happens, you will drive yourself nuts. You really will. So just get on with your day, and just all of us can do is just wait and see what happens. And I'm hoping that somewhere down the line, someone will come to their senses and resolve the situation. Not just the situation in Ukraine and Russia, but the situation everywhere in the world. Because as I say, the world right now is such an angry place. It really is. It's just ridiculous. And a lot of it is fueled, unfortunately, by social media. Social media is fueling a lot of this. And unfortunately, some time down the line, this could cause a mistake, an escalation, purely based on something that was said or done on social media. And that's hopefully something that will never happen. But anyway, to anybody out there who is right now anxious and worried for their futures, and I understand completely, because I'm exactly the same. I would say just carry on day-to-day basis, and then just see what happens in the future. Try and find something that you used to enjoy to do, whether it's an old computer game that you used to play when you were a kid, anything like that, anything that brings back good memories. Just try and do that, and just, it does help. It really does help to get you, through the day, and then we'll go from there. But I'm just very gobsmacked at the way the world is in 2024. I don't think it's ever been this bad for decades. And someone said we're not far off the same situation we were during the Cuban Missile Crisis, which, if anyone didn't know, they were 24 minutes away from launching nuclear weapons. That's how close we came to nuclear annihilation in 1962, that was. So, but if you look at it also from the other point of view, back in the 80s when I was growing up, you had President Gorbachev and you had Ronald Reagan, and practically every single day Gorbachev was threatening to launch nuclear missiles at America. That was the essence of the Cold War. That was what he did. He always threatened America, and I remember that growing up all the way through the 80s. It was constant. I mean, the popular culture of the day, they made music videos about stuff like that. If anyone remembers, Frankie Goes to Hollywood with two tribes go to war, and they had that video where it was Ronald Reagan against Gorbachev fighting in a boxing ring. So that kind of thing isn't new. It's been going on for a very, very long time. But I just hope that at some point someone's going to see sense and back down and realise that, the reasons they thought that they were doing what they were doing wasn't correct. They may have thought it was. In their head, they may have thought it was, but it wasn't. Anyway, so to anybody out there who's anxious, or, as I say, it's the only thing you can do really is just carry on. It's a little bit funny to be even mentioning the glitz and the glamour of Las Vegas, all the pomp and the circumstance, and the high rollers out there with the slot machines and the casinos and the gambling. To even be mentioning that in the same sentence as what's going on outside of the world. I do think a lot of people have got blinkers on, and they're ignoring it. I do believe that is the case. I've seen it a lot on social media that people are basically just ignoring it, thinking, it's not there. But it is there. But as I say, it's something to think about. But as I say, please try not to worry about it. Please try to just, get through your day. And as I say, find something that you used to really enjoy back when you were growing up, as I say, an old game or whatever, anything like that. And just, and hopefully, things will improve. Things will improve. I mean, this is not the first time we've been here. Been here several times. As I say, mankind seems content on destroying itself in some capacity. But I'm sure eventually people will see sense and things will be okay. But anyway, just a little final message to say, if you're out there struggling right now, I hear you. A lot of people, they're not even hearing you, but I hear you. But as I say, please just try not to worry and just go through your day, and we will see what happens in the future. As they said in Back to the Future, that's the great thing about the future. It hasn't been written yet, so who knows what's going to happen. And the thing is, worrying about something 6 months down the line is not going to help you in your current situation. So, yeah, just continue on a daily basis, and that's all I can say. Anyway, thanks everyone. It's all out of the bollocks, says Will F1. There you go. Show us the point standings. No, because you keep moaning at me. It's not the world I used to like. No, rare to see you speak up like this, but thanks a lot. You're the best. No problem. Gorbachev was crazy anyways. He was. The Cold War was just as vile. There are many happy people, but also unhappy people. We have to lift them up, and those are not happy as those who are privileged, who have more than we, must go back to those days. Yes, I quite agree. I quite agree. Like I say, I've never seen the world in such an angry... No problem, mate. I've never seen the world in such an angry place as it is right now. I really haven't. It's just unbelievable. Really, it is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable when as I say, when killing people is just, it's just been normified as being, nothing now. It's nothing. That's someone's son. That's someone's daughter. That's someone's father. Someone's mother. And it's just And even on the battlefield, it's the same thing. I understand, the country I can't mention, they're losing 1,500 people a day. 1,500 people a day. I mean, that's just a crazy number. It really is a crazy number. That they're losing their lives for the sake of someone else's plan, who they thought was justified at the time, but has since not come to fruition. It's just crazy. I mean, some news outlets in 2017 speculated that Trump would cause World War III as clickbait. Yes, they did. They did indeed. They did indeed. So anyway, that's it from me. I'd just like to say thank you, everyone. And as I say, try not to worry. Just get through your... Just carry on as normal. Get through your day, and that's it. They still don't bloody leave Trump alone, even though he got re-elected as the 74th president. This is also true. So, there you go. Anyway, sorry to end on a sort of low note, but I couldn't carry on and not mention what was happening, because I've been watching the news over the past 3 or 4 days, just and I couldn't carry on without mentioning it. I do steer away from it because I try to keep on entertainment grounds, which is to entertain you guys, which I hope you know that's what I basically do. So I do try to steer away from it, but because of a lot of what's happened in the past few days, I did just have to mention it at the end. As I say, if you suffer from anxiety or whatever, please try not to worry about it. Just try and get on with your day. And don't forget, also, there is always help out there. I think just a phone call away, there's lots of numbers you can ring. I do believe the Samaritans being one of them. I'm sure you'll be even more under a threat. Oh yeah, I'm sure you will be. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining me tonight. You have been awesome as always. Yes, thank you for Champ 92. Thanks to Will F1. Thanks to DGM 99. Thanks to the man whose name I can't pronounce. I think that was everybody. Oh, Plano Plessy was in there at the start as well. Thank you, Mr. Plano Plessy, for joining me on the stream. And I think that's everybody. Right. Thanks, everyone. You have been awesome. For me and Mr. TB the Bear. Stay safe. Peace out. Absolutely. Totally agree with you. For me and Mr. TB the Bear. What's he got on his ear? What's he got on his ear? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? What's you got on your ear? Hang on, we've got to investigate. Better not be a flea. What's he got on his... it's a plastic tag. I think that's... He had a little badge on him when I got him. Yeah. Didn't you? Yeah. Yeah. And if all else fails, everyone, cuddle a bear. Cuddle a bear. You'd be amazed how much that works, you know. Cuddle a bear. TB the bear. TB the bear. TB naked, no. TB enclosed. Yes, absolutely. So for me and Mr. TB, who will be rooting once again at Las Vegas for his favourite driver, Lulu Hamilton. Yes, favourite driver, isn't it? He loves Lulu. He loves little Lulu. Cuddle a bear. Hashtag cuddle a bear. There you go. That would be the cure, I tell you, for all of the world's problems. Cuddle a bear. Honestly, that would be the cure for everyone's problems. Cuddle a bear. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, everyone. I'm going to finish on that immortal line from Jerry Springer, which was... I can't even remember it now. Something about stay safe. And hang on, I've got to look it up. Because it's such a classic line, you can't just leave without saying it. You can't leave without. There you go, I've got it. So, to quote Mr. Jerry Springer, Jerry. Just like to say, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Good night.